Hello, how are you guys? Colleen Gallagher here. I normally don't do two lives, but you guys, just so much is coming through and I feel like there's so many messages, so I'm being called to really hop on and share them. So one thing that I got after last night's live a lot, and one thing that I'm getting when I did my live earlier today, that's coming really present for me in my field, is a lot of you are really struggling or suffering when you break up with someone, or when there is a dissolving of a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's, hold on, let me close this door so that way it's a little bit not so crazy. So it's like, that's focused. Okay. So, when you have a really deep, intimate relation with someone, whether that's a friend, whether it's a, partner, whether it's just someone you really had love for, and for whatever reason, it's dissolved, you guys have went away. Hey, Wyatt, what is it? A lot of you have been sharing with me, like, how did you, Colleen, overcome a narcissistic codependent relationship where you did not relapse? Basically, it's almost like a drug. So if you had to, we all, I believe, inherently, well, this is in my third book, but we all have a soul contract. We all have come here with specific things we've agreed for our soul to go through. I feel like many of us in different forms psychologically have a form of addiction, obsessiveness, or that there's something in our life. I don't believe any single person goes through life and there's not some quote unquote perceived psychological issue, which is actually really a spiritual awakening or a spiritual journey. So my personal addiction, if you want to put it in that terminology, would have been, I was a love junkie. I was addicted to basically do whatever I could to be in these really toxic relationships to feel a short-term release of probably adrenaline and love and oxytocin, because I was so afraid to have a healthy relationship, because that would mean that you actually have to show up sustainably instead of just transactionally showing up in this toxicity environment. So a lot of us, right, we have these struggles with things, or we have these things that we go through. And so that was my personal, overcoming in this life, because my teaching is around sacred love. So where I want to go with this is that when you guys ask me, or when people reach out to me in messages of how did you not relapse on the codependent narcissistic relationship, or even in other relationships, when I end things, it's I don't ever look back. It is over. I don't, and this is with friendships. This is with, this is with a lot of things in my life. When it gets to such a point, there's a clicking point for me. It's a pattern for me. When it gets, I just don't look back. I don't communicate. But what a lot of you have asked me is, how do you not reach out to the person after you've had a break, after you've decided to part ways? And a lot of you have shared you struggle with that. A lot of you have vulnerably shared with me in messages that it's really hard for you. And even though this person isn't in your life, and I've had this, people have been in marriages and they're still thinking about past lovers. People are in, there's a lot of you reach out and talk about this topic of something is over. This existing person isn't in your life, but they're still alive in your thoughts. They're still alive in your system. So what do you do to move through that? Well, first of all, I want to say I'm running a workshop, which is called How to Overcome Heartbreak and Attract Love. That's going to start on Saturday. I just did the write-up of what the workshop's going to be, so you can comment below Heartbreak, and I'm going to leave the link here afterward, or it's going to go on my email list. The price is going to increase tomorrow, so if you want to get on the early bird, you definitely are going to want to get in tonight. So make sure to message me or comment below. But what I wanted to share is that the reason someone is out of your life physically, you've chosen or they've chosen to physically have a break in physical connection, but they're still alive in your thoughts or in your mind, is because there is another reality that exists outside of our human body. So there's two things. And in this non-physical reality, basically, you can kind of say it's virtual. It's a little bit different than that. But in this other reality that it is existing, there's a there's spirits, there's communication, there's like open channel lines always. Like it's like a almost like Wi-Fi, like almost like 5G. Like I can always call someone if I really want to tap into them right now, and like I can call and speak to their mind and have a full conversation without their physical body being here. But the reason that you keep returning to someone, the reason that once it's physically done, you have physically decided, I don't want this person in my life, or they've decided that about you, and you keep returning your thoughts there, is because there's a lesson you have not learned. There's a lesson you have not integrated. There's something that's leaving you wandering in the past about this person because you haven't fully acknowledged the dynamic that relationship has offered you, the dynamic, the lesson, you haven't maybe acknowledged what that person has revealed to you about yourself. A lot of times we get so attached to relationships because when we meet people, they bring out a certain quality, or they activate a certain experience or type of person in us that we didn't know we had available to us. So it's kind of like, a baby in a lot of ways. Like if a baby is born to, the mom or the dad, and then the mom and the dad help the baby, like, they give them food, they help them walk, like, the baby becomes attached to, wow, this person is like helping me grow. This person's helping me crawl, to walk, to eat. This person's taking me in a car places. Like you get attached to what these new experiences of life are bringing you. So in a relationship, if you haven't yet fully brought on you, and I don't believe in life I think we're always fully activating new areas of us, new thoughts of us, well, not new, but we're always activating the truest parts of ourselves that we didn't know we had there. It's like they were kind of invisible. We kind of pretend they weren't there. And then we meet people and they help us remember the truth of who we are, because we're all in unity and we're all helping each other rise. So when you get into a deep, meaningful relationship, it's kind of like you break and you keep returning to the thoughts and the person, and you want to reach out to them, you want to text them. It's because you haven't yet either fully seen what they activated in you and just become grateful for it and realize you can carry on what they've activated without them being present in your life. There's a lesson you haven't learned. Maybe you haven't found gratitude for it or peace for it. I know with my, personal story of narcissistic codependent relationship, and I highly recommend getting my third book, An Uncompromised Life, if you're struggling through this right now of like, how do I find peace in this traumatizing event that's happened in my life or traumatizing relationship? It's an excellent book. I share 12 principles for you to begin falling in love with life. But what I suggest, though, what I'm getting at here specifically is that the reason I never relapsed on going back to basically the drug, which was this relationship, was because I kept returning to the thoughts in my mind. I kept returning to this person in my mind, but I kept being committed to find peace in it, to find the beauty in it. I kept being like, there has to be beauty in this. There has to be joy in this. There has to be a reason that I went through this. And it took time, it wasn't like it was a day. I mean, an abusive situation, you really need 12 months. But if it's not abuse, it's just a regular relationship, 90 days. I think it's just that you've got to acknowledge it's not them that you want to reach out to. It's what they activated inside of you. It's what they brought out of you that you didn't yet know you had available to you as one human. You didn't know you could be that way or express that way, or you didn't know someone could see you that way and see you in these raw, vulnerable parts and still accept you. And so you keep returning to wanting to reach out to them because you think there's more for them to offer you. But the truth is that you've grown outside of what that person could give you. It's almost like if you go to an ice cream shop and the ice cream shop only has 30 flavors, and you go there all the time and you never knew the flavors when you first went there, but now you know all the flavors. And then it's like, well, I want another, like that ice cream shop is only gonna be able to offer you 30 flavors. Like, and you already found all the flavors in that ice cream store. So you've got to move on, but you're always going to be grateful for that first ice cream store, because that first ice cream store activated these 30 different flavors for you that you didn't know these 30 flavors of ice cream existed. It's kind of like a relationship like that. Like, this person activated a flavor in you didn't know was available. And you want to go back because you think there's more. But the truth is there's not more, because you've grown and evolved. They will always only be the 30 ice cream flavors unless they've really taken the time to grow and evolve. And I'd say majority of humanity at this point isn't really taking time after relationships to grow and evolve, especially if someone hurt you really badly, or was really disrespectful, or was really careless with your heart. They don't normally know how to grow because they're in so much pain. And you get to a point in your own growth when you just focus on you that you start to rise above even wanting to go back to the 30 ice cream flavors, because you're just so focused on you and your adventure and what you want to do. So if you want more ice cream flavors, you're going to find more ice cream stores. Like, that's what you're excited about, because that's a passion of yours, ice cream. And focus on that passion. And then the right person will naturally just kind of come to you to support you in your journey. So that was a really clear message I got, and I wanted to offer. If this is a conversation you want to go deeper on, get inside my workshop that's happening Saturday. And I'll leave the links here when we have it live. And the pre-order will end tonight. So anyway, let me know what comes up for you. Let me see here. Let me see. Wyatt. Okay, let me see, Wyatt, what you said. Hey, Wyatt. Okay, that's a distraction. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I talk about that in my third book of The Disease of People Pleasing. And, we all have distractions in life. I know, you're a little bit more well-versed than I am in age, but I know that we all, we all have distractions that are part of our learning gifts we have to go through in life to offer us our teachings to come through us. Go to the space between thought and emotion. Absolutely. And that's where it's really important with feminine leadership of creating spaciousness, which is what we're doing. We're attracted to in another what they have yet to fully develop in ourselves. We attract what we are. We're attracted to, yeah, absolutely. I think we attract, people based, exactly. I mean, any relationship, we attract what we admire in someone. But in the point of a lot of relationships, if it's just starting, we kind of give our power away, thinking that this person has something that we don't, or we can't activate, when in truth, they were always just giving us the permission to be who we are meant to be, and activating that soul DNA for us. So anyway, feel free to get the book on Uncompromised Life on Amazon. It comes out June 8th, or you can go to my website, and then I will post the link for the workshop here. Love you guys so much.